We're looking at the most popular baby grand from Kawai. It's the GL-10, their entry-level baby grand. It's a 5-foot, beautiful little piano with some amazing features that some call the best baby grand you can buy.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate your support and we love to interact with you. Ted, we have a very cool product today. I realized we were looking at some footage and we've done product reviews on the GL series from Kawai before. And we've done product reviews on different baby grands, but we've never focused on the GL-10 from Kawai, which is surprising because it's their most popular piano. It's one of our best sellers because it's the entry line into the baby grand piano offering from Kawai, and it's just a very incredible instrument. But before we get into it, we like to start our videos with a piano fact.
Piano fact.
So it's piano fact.
And so you have one today.
I think I do. So when we are looking at a piano, there's a lot at work, right? You see the 88 keys in front of you. You see the beautiful cabinet display if it's a grand, or the upright cabinet display if it's an upright. But what goes beyond? What's in the inside? What's in the engine? And we were talking specifically about the action in the hammers. So historically, when you pull out an action from a piano, you look at it and it's a bunch of wood keys. That's going to stay consistent on pretty much every single piano. I don't think there's anybody who's not making a piano with wood keys. But once you move up from the key, so the key is about yay long depending on the size of the instrument. But then you get to the action components, which is the whipping cages, the components that make you striking the note hit the string. And so the materials that are used to do this have changed over time.
Oh, yes.
And so specifically with hammers, you look at and spec sheets sometimes on different instruments. It's like, okay, these ones have mahogany as the base, and sometimes they're made out of spruce hammers, or there's different wood components, and I think it's important to realize that the wood responds differently. It's a strength test, but it's also there's not a lot of sound implications that come with the wood type other than the strength of the hammer, right?
Well, number one, the sound is coming from the wool in the hammer. Okay, the backing material underneath the wool is they use a harder type of mahogany and a more expensive type on more expensive pianos than they do on lesser ones for a reason. And that is that the chances of it ever failing are going to be less the better grade material you use, whether it's handmade is one thing, or is this an assembly line factory type of piano hammer? Because they're made in long rails.
Yeah.
And then they chop them into hammers.
And also the way that it's applied as well, right? So there's cold pressing.
Well, yeah, now the weight that's applied to the hammers when this is like 14 or 18 pound felt has nothing to do with the actual putting that weight on a scale. That's referring to the weight of the wool from all of the felt that was compressed down to the square, that this is 14 pound felt, this is 28 pound felt, and you can feel the difference. It's like if you're using it for a sofa, or you're using it for a horse saddle, or some kind of different cushioning material, it'll be different, or insulation. So that hammer weight, even though each hammer has a specific weight, there are measurements.
They're measured, and they're heavier as you go to the bass section, as it goes up the piano, as it gets lighter.
Right.
That's why on a digital piano they talk about graded action, graded hammer action.
So the piano fact is, you can use a lot of different materials for the actual hitting. Historically, it's been leather. It's been different types of materials. It's been felt, and I think we talked in one of them. I actually read from the book wool about the invention of the hammer. But now, interesting point is, that's a great piano fact, because we're at the point now where I have said, and I've mentioned before, that I wonder if the Shigeru Kawai, the EX model, is ever going to take in to where the hammer shank
is carbon fiber.
Will be carbon fiber, because on some of the other carbon fiber manufacturers, not a whole lot of them, they actually do the shanks.
Well, so that, kind of in summation, the parts that make the action used to all be wood and, and a little bit of steel and wool. Nowadays, there's beautiful inventions, carbon fiber ABS, that is being implemented in the workable system of the piano, the actual rigidity, sorry, of the instrument and of the piano action. And so that using better materials has become a thing. And so just that implementation of new materials is really cool.
Yeah, and also don't forget that just the action components, the parts that Kawai uses is carbon fiber. In order to get that anywhere near, like carbon fiber type material, you're having to use some of the most expensive hardwoods in order to get that precision to where that they're not going to absorb tons of moisture. I mean, it's a different type of woods that you can use inside those actions, which will make them last a long time. But to me, carbon fiber is space age material. It's good stuff.
And so, we went a little long on that piano fact, but the reason we harp on it so much is because this instrument, the GL-10, actually has the Millennium 3 action in it. And so we've done videos on the Millennium 3 action, but really the number one thing that separates the GL series, especially this GL-10, from other baby grands in that 5-foot size, which is, in people's mind is usually somewhere between 5 foot and 5'4", 5'6", is a baby grand in people's minds. Kawai is the only one that's putting in that action that is going to have a different set of materials in the action.
Not only that, remember what you asked me before we came in here. You said, "Are you ready for the GL-10? Did you study up and read on it?" I said, "No, I know everything." And here's the reason why I can say that. And it literally is the truth. And I'll actually pull out the GL-10 and I'll prove to you, because I mentioned this as a result of being out there with the Kawai guys.
Yeah.
What makes selling the GL-10 so simple is that if you look back here on their series of specs, the charts, all the GL models, all the same, every single box is checked off for every feature they have. That's all the GLs. Whatever you have in the big one, you get in the small one. But not only that, the entire GL series, if you look at all this, this is all they're selling. Okay, I don't mean to diminish it, but it's the same thing that's in the Shigeru Kawai pianos.
They believe
it's the same technology. It's the double action F rail. It's the serrated thing. It's all of these machined screws. Granted, what is going to be different between this line is this is a manufacturing assembled line piano, but whereas compared to a handmade, and there's few other improvements, not only just in the materials, but in some of the reinforcement design. So there's absolutely no points of failure, which is the SK line.
Yeah.
And the Black series, the GX line is the same thing. So you only have to learn the one product and how it's designed. And every time that there's a major change and the improvements get pushed down, it's not like you have to, these are made with this kind of wood, this kind of wood, this kind of felt, it's always the balanced concept of a structured grand piano, whether it's 5 foot or 9 foot. And they bring the best that they can of their product and their technology and their patents and trademarks that they have.
Yeah, and it's we'll go over some of those features after, when we listen to it here in a second. But what makes the GL-10 so special again is these giant technological advances that they make in their SKEX line, their experimental grand. They want to get that down to their whole line as quickly as possible. This product has won numerous awards, but the GL series won like product of the year for all categories back in 2016. But it's really highlighted as the best baby grand that money can buy because of those things that you highlight on. It's got a stretcher bar. It's got the thickest stretcher bar on any baby grand. It's got the longest keys of any baby grand. That Millennium 3 action. Do any research on it. People speak very highly of it because it's so precise. It's using better materials, and it's not going to fall apart on you.
I don't know of any other baby grand that actually has carbon fiber action components inside.
No, yeah, and all the other manufacturers that have used it, I can only think Mason and Hamlin. They actually outsource the whole building of their carbon fiber action to another company. You look at some other features on the GL-10. It's got a steel reinforced key slip, and so when you pull the key slip off, that's the right in front of the keys. That is not going to bend at all. It's very heavy. On a lot of pianos, it's usually just made out of a piece of wood. It's usually a little flimsy. You can feel
They're
the key slip.
designed, engineered, and manufactured for stability above and beyond what almost any other entry line grand piano is.
Our installers who install the player systems on it,
systems.
they've told us one of the best things that you don't really see with the naked eye is this underneath the keys, the key bed is steel reinforced too. And so you're not going to get any dip within the piano because the action's very heavy. And over time, especially on the lower costed and mass-produced pianos, and not to say the GL-10 is mass-produced, but in terms of pianos, it's one of the more mass-produced pianos because it is the least expensive from a big manufacturer like Kawai. But they've reinforced where your key bed is actually pushed into the piano.
Right.
And if you think about it, your two legs are on the side. Over time,
there's no support in the middle.
Yeah, it wants to dip in a lot of piano manufacturers, and you see that. And so the keys dip, or there's something funny with the way a piano plays over time. Because they've reinforced it, they really are trying to make it so it's going to last forever.
Right. They're just wonderful, wonderful pianos. Not to mention the tone. They do produce a really wonderful tone for a small piano. I've tuned them. They're a pleasure to tune. I enjoy tuning the pianos. I will say that when they're brand new, it's not the one tuning that you get after purchase that's going to put it in there. And there's the ones that we keep on the floor. They're probably tuned more than normal, okay, because they're right located by the desk. And we do show them a lot. Everyone that comes in plays the most affordable brand new grand piano there is. And but once they get in tune and they get that tone, they are just lovely, lovely instruments.
So let's listen to the GL-10. We'll come back, talk about some additional features on the GL-10, but also some additional technology that can be implemented with the GL-10 at the time of purchase. But let's take a listen to it. This is the GL-10, the 5-foot baby grand from Kawai.
What'd you think of playing that GL-10?
Well, the thing that always impresses me about the whole carbon fiber, the Millennium 3 action, is the control you have. So, they say they have longer keys in each of their pianos. That's something that they've gone back and really tried to improve as much of a key length as they can get in each piano. And I always explain it as like a tool. Like, when you have a longer tool, the fulcrum point is different. And so you have more minute leverage, and you can play soft, you can play hard. But the action being carbon fiber also has a certain precision that lets you, really balance on when you're playing and not playing. And so that point really helps you control dynamics.
Well, when people come in and say, I'm looking for a baby grand, and is it okay if we play pianos? And I always say, play that one. I'll point it, if they're looking for it, I'll put up to a GL-10 because I know I just got done tuning it, or it's great, or whatever people play on. And they sit down over there, and before they play, I say, try to see how soft you can play. Because trust me, it's a great instrument. It'll play, it'll sing loud, but see how soft. You can play softer on these pianos than any other piano you probably ever play. And they always come back, you're right, I can play softer on that.
Well, and it's funny because it doesn't only hold true on the GL-10 as you move up and go all the way up to their SKEX.
Every single one of them.
Their 9-foot piano, you're like, okay, this thing is going to be a thunderous, loud, booming piano. And it is if you play it that way. But they want you to have control to the pianissimo. They really believe, and we went over this in another video, the name piano forte, and it's like it's piano, it's pianissimo and fortissimo, and the spectrum of not only the softest volume to the loudest, but having control over the whole orchestra, having control of writing it. It's really an instrument that's designed to be dynamically full and to be able to produce any type of music and write any type of music. And so Kawai really believes in energy transfer. They believe in, from your fingertips, you playing as softly as you can to creating the softest, most beautiful noise to the loudest you can, and really playing into it.
And also energy containment, because anything where there's a vibration or where there's looseness or there's wobble or there's wiggle is energy getting lost in the process and not being contained and transmitted.
So that stretcher baller, which is what is connected to the pin block right in front of the keys, so that if you're sitting at the piano, the fall board comes down, which it has a soft closed fall board, which is really nice. I've got a 10-month-old at home, and he loves to pull on my piano fall board, but it's a soft close. This is a soft close lid, which is nice. But once you pull it down, that bar right there, your stretcher bar, it's trying to make sure all the energy is going back into the piano. Same with the rim, the construction of the rim. They want to make sure all the energy is contained on the soundboard. The GL-10 is, of course, the most popular instrument from Kawai because it is the most affordable. MSRP at the time of making this video is a little bit over $18,000. Of course, that's MSRP. But there are some different options, whether you're looking at finishes. So there are, the shiny black polished ebony. There's satin black. There's polished, not ivory, polished white, like a snow white look. Then there's some wood finishes, mahogany, polished mahogany, satin mahogany. There's a whole bunch of different features when you look at the right. There is a red one as well, which is a really beautiful instrument. We
sold one for Christmas.
We sold one for Christmas to someone in Austin, which was fun. And then we also have some big fans up in our St. Louis area and in our Kansas City area. It's Kansas City red if you're in Kansas City. It's Cardinal red if you're in St. Louis. So lots of finish options, but there's technology options as well. And so we talked about installation of a player system. This is our most popular player system, I think, around the country. It's an incredible instrument for a player system because of that carbon fiber action. There's a lot of repetition that happens with a player system, and it's played usually at a volume and at a repetition that almost an advanced concert pianist would be playing at, because it's just over and over, boom, 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 all up and down, all the keys. You want something that's going to hold up against that, and so having a piano that has carbon fiber, I think, is an excellent choice because you're not going to get any sort of movement, and it's built to last. It's going to last longer than us humans. So the player system, which is easy to control with a phone, with an app, play your favorite music through it, and so there's other videos that we have on the QRS. But then the Anytime piano.
Right. I was getting ready to say the QRS. I had the QRS system on yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. There's a long list of songs that come up, and it just, boom, you just go through it.
It's fun. It makes it enjoyable if you're not a player, or if you have kids who are playing. You can sometimes, depending on the model you get, you can record and play back on it. The Anytime piano is on this series. It's called the ATX4, and that again is it's a silent system.
It's a great feature if you're a player and you like to play when everyone else in the house is sleeping, or if your neighbors are sleeping. And it's wonderful because it allows you to turn off the harp on the grand piano and allows you to use all of the digital components, whether it's from the app or your phone. I mean, you get it through an app, you can change the sounds, and you can practice and make music on it.
It basically turns into a very high-level MIDI controller that has a full-length grand piano action. So you're playing your grand piano, but it's stopping right before it hits the string, and so you're getting this great feel, but there's nothing coming out of the piano. And you have headphones on, or you can even plug it into a system. Churches will buy this because they want a grand piano feel. And you can leave the piano activated, so you can have the piano playing for the accompanist, but then you can run it out of the ATX system and run it to the house speakers.
A house sound system.
And so it's their SKEX piano sample. So it's the Shigeru Kawai 9-foot piano sample coming out of the speakers, and you get the full piano action right there.
Right. Then it also has transducers on the soundboard.
Well, that's only on the Aorus system.
Okay, on the Aorus.
The ATX system on the GL-10, if you want the one that comes out of the soundboard, you'll move up to the GX2. And so we've done videos on the GX2 Aorus 2 as well.
So there's the Aorus, the ATX.
ATX4, the QRS system. And then there's other versions of QRS. There's piano disc and different installations for player pianos, but the one we like here is the QRS system. So the GL-10, incredible instrument. Again, you get a ton of value with the Millennium 3 action. You get great features, longer keys that give you more control. More volume is contained on the soundboard through the instrument. Plenty of different options for finishes and technology, and really is an incredible instrument, and is told many times over online. And if you read reviews anywhere, people love their instruments, and has won product review of the year multiple times. Their big one, I think, was in 2016. But the GL series from Kawai, incredible. This was the GL-10, their 5-foot baby grand. Thank you guys for watching. If you have owned one or if you played one, please leave comments below. I know people will compare it to other manufacturers that have different 5-foot pianos. I know we did a video a long time ago on a Yamaha GB1K versus the GL-10. But please leave comments. I know a lot of people would appreciate that. This is Ted Barslew. I'm Patrick Marr here at Alamo Music in San Antonio. Find us online at alamomusic.com. If you want to play a Kawai GL-10, come visit us here in San Antonio or at our Austin store. We have a St. Louis, a Kansas City store, one outside of Detroit and Bloomfield Hills. We have one in Traverse City, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, and come into a city near you. No, but we have lots of Kawai piano galleries around the country. Please do not hesitate to go in and check them out. Lots of cool instruments there. The GL-10 will especially be there. The most popular baby grand Kawai that is made. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.